It's a nationwide problem.
We begin with an historic day for the U.S. military. The long controversial Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy expired at midnight.
Has settled the definition of marriage a long time ago.
And don't stop talking about it until they do something about it.
I knew at a young age that I was very different.
I started out as sort of a tomboy, and I liked to play with the boys, and I liked to play with boy things.
I walked wrong, I talked wrong, I wasn't interested in the right things. I love show tunes.
Hi, I'm Tim Gunn, and I have a very important message for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, and questioning youth.
It gets better. It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
There's hope and there's help.
People are here for you. People who care and understand.
Because it's very simple. If you don't believe in same-sex marriage, then don't marry somebody of the same sex.
I don't know what it's like to be picked on for being gay, but I do know what it's like to grow up feeling that sometimes you don't belong. It's tough. And for a lot of kids, the sense of being alone or apart, I know it can just wear on you.
It hurts me so to think my son felt like he was not worthy of anything.
14-year-old Jamie Rodemeyer had been bullied relentlessly since 5th grade. His parents, Tim and Tracy, found his body on Sunday. He was harassed by online insults. He saw counselors to try to deal with the pain.
Hi, this is Jamie from Buffalo, New York, and I'm just here to tell you that it does get better. I always got made fun of because I virtually have no guy friends, and I only have friends that are girls, and it bothered me because people would be like, faggot, fag, and they'd taunt me in the hallways.
For a young kid of 14 and a half, he had a big message, a huge message that shouldn't even have to be a message. It should just be common decency to not make people feel worthless and useless on this planet, that they don't deserve to be with other people.
The parents of Asher Brown, who you can see above, complained to school officials in the Cypress Fairbanks ISD outside of Houston that their son was being bullied and harassed in school. The bullies called him faggot and queer. They shoved him, they punched him, and in spite of his parents' calls to counselors and principals, the harassment, intimidation, and threats continued. For years, it continued. A couple of weeks ago, after being bullied at school, Asher went home, found his father's gun, and shot himself in the head. His father found Asher dead when he came home from work. Asher was 13 years old. I'd like for you to look at his face. Unlike Asher, Indiana teen Billy Lucas, who never self-identified as gay, but was perceived to be by bullies who harassed him daily at the Greenberg Community High School. 3 weeks ago, he hung himself in his grandparents' barn. He was 15 years old. Minnesota 15-year-old Justin Auberg came out to friends at age 13, after which the harassment and bullying began. It grew as he moved from middle school to high school. When he found the harassment more than he could bear, he hung himself in his room and was found by his mother. Classmates started teasing and name-calling Seth Walsh in the 4th grade. It continued through his middle school years, where other students told him the world didn't need another queer and that he should, quote, go hang himself. On September 18th, after being threatened by a group of older teens, he went home, threw a noose around a tree branch, and he did just that. He hung himself in his backyard. His mother saw him, pulled him down. Seth survived on life support for 9 days before dying a couple of weeks ago. He was 13 years old. Teen bullying and suicide has reached an epidemic in our country, especially among gay and lesbian youth, those perceived to be gay, or kids who are just different. In recent weeks, New Jersey teen Tyler Clementi jumped off a bridge to his death after his roommate outed him on the internet. Rhode Island teen Raymond Chase hung himself in his dorm room. And we learned just yesterday of Oklahoma teen Zach Harrington, who killed himself after attending a city council meeting in Norman, Oklahoma, where speakers made disparaging anti-gay remarks. There is a conversation for the adults in this room and those watching to have, and we will have it, that this bullying and harassment in our schools must stop and that our schools must be a safe place to learn and to grow.
Something must be done. This month alone, there have been a shocking number of news stories about teens who have been teased and bullied and then committed suicide, like 13-year-old Seth Walsh in Tehachapi, California, 13-year-old Asher Brown in Cypress, Texas, and 15-year-old Billy Lucas in Greensburg, Indiana. This needs to be a wake-up call to everyone that teenage bullying and teasing is an epidemic in this country and the death rate is climbing. One life lost in this senseless way is tragic. 4 lives lost is a crisis.
Your subtleties, they're strange.